Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. We're back again. We're here to rock it out again with my friend this time, Jill Lublin. Hello, Jill.
Hello, so good to be here.
And so it's so great to have you here. Your amazing energy and kindness and love. And Jill's just telling me how she's just, man, there's so much. You're sending love everywhere. There's so much going on. And it's true. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for people in wanting to, at the same time, still have businesses to run and to want to be more visible than ever before and to make more impact. And we are looking for some keys to that during these times. So we definitely want to dive into that today. Jill is the master at publicity. She really is. She's really amazing at it. So I'm really looking forward to sharing about all that with everybody. So Jill, first I want to let them know about you. So Jill Lublin is an international speaker on the topics of radical influence, publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She is the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals, and co-author of Guerrilla Publicity and Networking Magic. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, went #1 in 4 categories. Jill is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability and more visibility in the marketplace. She is the CEO of a strategic consulting firm and has over 25 years of experience working with over 100,000 people, plus national and international media. Jill teaches a virtual publicity crash course in that you get it fast rather than have to wait, and consults and speaks all over the world. She also helps authors to create book deals with major publishers and agents, as well as obtain foreign rights deals. And the thing you should know about her more than anything, she is extremely good at getting down to business, but she has got as big of a heart as anybody as I know. So I'm just so grateful to have you here, Jill.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, okay. All right. So let's talk about stuff. I mean, it's funny. I'm really more guided. I mean, we're going to get right into all this visibility stuff, but during troubled times. But the troubled times that we think about what's going on, it's like, yeah, again, the COVID, and then we've got racial justice. We've got all that going on, Black Lives Matters theme going on, that whole issue. And then we've got whatever else people say is going on, right? So we've got a lot of things, just whatever, natural fires are going on in California, people we know, right? People we love dealing with that. And so so it's just up more than usual, right? We have more of a depth of things going on, and there's more. It's funny, like when there's a crisis, sometimes the family doesn't come together right away. Sometimes they start fighting more. That's what we're seeing right now. People are, in some cases, fighting more. Now, not everybody, but like some people are fighting more. But I feel like you're the answer. I mean, for people that want to start moving through that and take advantage of it so they can spread the kindness, they can spread the love. And because, that's something I really love that you're about, is this profit of kindness that you talk about. And I'm wondering, how can people take advantage of this situation in a way that really can serve love and kindness and goodness? What are some things for them to, how can you orient people to where they're at with everything going on in the world right now?
Well, the first thing is, one of the things with profit of kindness, generally, people talk about a random act of kindness. I want you to do a conscious act of kindness. It could be shopping for someone who needs help because they can't get out of their house. It could be a smile through that mask and light up those eyes. It could be, you know, literally like holding the door open or just support. Watch for what people need, because frankly, people need a lot right now. It might be just being on the phone and being a listening person. I'm sending thank you notes now, you know, like, wow, what a concept to receive mail. People like it. So conscious act of kindness, at least one a day. Can you imagine the multiplication factor we will have if everyone commits to one a day? Oh my gosh. I mean, that would move everything in the world, especially more toward high vibration, high frequency, and the opportunity for love and for more kindness, because we need it now more than ever. And that means you don't have to agree with someone politically. You don't have to, you know, connect to their ideology, but they're human. Maybe they
Right.
just need something. So look for that. Look for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that is so important. I think, like, yeah, when we can think about what acts of kindness can we take that are beyond the kindness that we, you know, I'm sure our listeners give every day, because they're those kind of people. They're going to be doing that anyway. But where can you take just that additional step that maybe you hesitate on or you don't make time for? You know, I just think of like something simple. My sister's been sick with, you know, she's got double COVID negative tests, so it's not that, but like she's has like all this stuff with her lungs and everything going on, and like so she's just been so miserable. And it's like she was due a call from me, so I'm like I just like scrapped some of my stuff I normally do to call her, because she, you know, I wanted to share that love. It's so important when you're in that place and really suffering, to have someone come in and lift you up, to be there for you, whatever it is that you're doing, makes such an impact. And I think sometimes we forget that our life really can work from the state of grace of just being loving and kind to each other. Like that's the true currency, right? I mean, that's how I see it anyway.
It's so important. And I think especially in volatile times, I mean, I'm concerned there's a lot of anger up, right? People are just, and there's a lot of stress and anxiety up, which means people are on edge. So, you know, if you practice, and it's a practice, being that calm in the storm, you know, whatever you need to do that, to working with Daniel, your own meditation and spiritual practice, as one of my teachers says, that's why they call it a practice. But I particularly in these moments am really practicing that being the calm in the eye of the storm. And then additionally, it requires, for me, tremendous more self-care. So for all of you out there, I'm just going to ask you, Daniel, you opened it up with me, like really, what are you doing to take care of yourself? And that is not selfish. It is ideally the most beautiful thing you can do. And what I've just noticed is I have much more need for self-care. So I'm paying a lot of attention to what I can handle during a day. I am canceling things probably more than I ever have, because maybe my energy isn't in an appropriate place to be the best I can be. And I always want to deliver the best I can be.
Yeah.
So I'm just noticing that I'm paying attention hour to hour. I mean, sure, my schedule's packed, but you know, I close down earlier than I ever have, because the Zoom and different things take a different level of energy. I'm giving myself bath time a lot. So, you know, do everything you can do to take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Jill. So I'm glad, you know, that's something I'm like on the high watch for you. So I'm like, okay, I'm so glad to hear you're taking good care of yourself. I'm so happy. So that's awesome. I think that's so important, to be able to really show up in a visible way that really, you know, brings a deeper impact through our energy. And sometimes, I think many times, well, it makes it more sustainable. And also, a lot of times when we're willing to take better care of ourselves and do it that way rather than push, we're able to land bigger opportunities, so greater opportunities. So what experiences have you seen, have you had of that, or of your clients? Like, or, you know, really like to show up, you have to take care of yourself. How have you seen that for yourself and others?
Well, number one, I'm helping a lot of people get their book done for once. You know, people have been speaking about that. That's maybe been on their heart, in their soul to deliver for years.
Mm-hmm.
This has been, as I call it, shelter in grace. And by the way, I'm in California. We're still sheltering in grace. I talk to my friends in Florida they're like, you're going for dinner? What are you doing? Like, to me, that's almost a foreign concept. I was on a plane half the month before, speaking, delivering courses. And you know what? I love not having to do that. And what I notice is, because I now have more time, and I'm not stressing getting up at 4:30 in the morning, except if I have a speaking engagement, virtually, just so different to deliver like this now, that what I have time to do is focus on my marketing, focus on reigniting and recreating relationships, focusing now on delivering my course virtually, where I can actually serve more people all around the world, easier, simpler. So I'm looking at the way I can simplify things. I've reduced prices to make things far more affordable. I just have a moment to like actually breathe and look into my business, like, hello, that's a beautiful thing. Now, I've always been masterminding. I've always been part of coaching programs. So please know this has always been a priority for me. I just notice I have the space more. And I think for all of us, that's been a blessing, is the blessing of space. And I don't mean I'm not busy. I think for all of us, funny enough, I'm actually hearing from people that are busier than ever. I was actually having a little closet cleaning envy, I call it, because people would go, oh yeah, I cleaned my closet. I'm like, what? When do you have time to clean your closet? So I actually cleaned a closet, because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna join that club, right? But I just think it's important to design your priorities now. And I think priorities need to shift. I think this is part of the lesson, frankly, of what's been going on here, is shifting of priorities. And so, yeah, I moved my self-care way up the ladder. And actually, I keep myself, I call it boxed in by self-care, so that I start my morning with meditation and exercise, at least most of the time. And I end the day, like, there's a woman who plays harp, and she just does it on Zoom. How beautiful is that? And that's Tuesday night. Wow, I look forward to that, right? So decide what you're doing that is present for you, that is a look forward to. Like, what are you looking forward to? I love to travel, and travel for adventure. I was in Egypt and Cambodia before all this hit, and like, okay, right now I'm going to travel in space. I'm going to travel in my imagination. I'm going to travel meeting and greeting people on Zoom. And what's been beautiful for me, talk about opportunity, what I've noticed is my networking has gone through the roof. Like, before, I would always go to at least 2 networking events a month, because I think that's important. I wrote a book on networking. I do believe in it. I think it's really important. Hey, guess what? I'm able to attend about now 4 a month, and including locally, the ones I couldn't get to in the morning, the ones I would be out of town for. So now, because I'm a member of 2 groups that are national and international in scope, I'm able to attend any chapter meeting across the world. That's exciting. And then I've, dropped into some super cool networking groups that I can create more connections. So as a woman who is very much a connector, which I am, I very much long for connection, which I do. Now I'm able to actually reach more people than ever before, who, interestingly enough, do become clients, connections. I'm taking a cooking class from another woman I saw in a networking group. I'm like, yeah, okay, Effortless Kitchen. I've been cooking up all kinds of fun things with her on Zoom, and an hour we're done. I love that. I mean, it's just so much fun. I'm dancing on Zoom. I'm doing a lot of fun things.
Wow, that is awesome. That's so great. And that's so good. We undervalue, yeah, our health sometimes, and our joy, and our, all the other things that, and then, like I said, it just makes everything easier. And like, I love you pointed out like the additional opportunities people have right now, now that they can't do other, you can't travel so much. It's not so easy, and you're not having the events in person, or you're not having the network meetings in person the way you used to. So if that's true, it's like, yeah, but now more than ever, people are gathering online, and where maybe they did the event, like a once a year event, you got to go there, you got to spend days and money and all this. And now you just, okay, come on this line, you don't even have to pay anything. It's like, it's amazing. And there's huge opportunities to be visible, and during these times, and that's one of them. It's like there's increasing opportunities to meet online now with people. And I've been doing more networking than ever before. And I'm making incredible connections that I know that, they don't always, some of these things, how it works, it's not overnight, like everything happens overnight with it, but like the seeds I've been planting, I just know are huge. So it's like a new crop of new people and connections and energy. And I know that it's serving a higher good. And I think that's one of the things, like, even if you're not seeing a big shift in your business right now, you're planting seeds, and don't minimize that, because when the harvest does come in, it'll be big if you're just keep staying visible. So what are some more things you could say about that, like ways people can maybe be even more visible during times like this?
Sure. Well, and thank you for the planting seeds, because I'm really big on plant seeds in the world of publicity. Gardens grow 3, 6, and 9 months ahead, and actually in life too, right?
Mhm.
So it's good to plant seeds now, relationship seeds and media seeds. So
Mhm.
take a look at your business. How can you adjust your business so that it fits into what's going on right now? The coaches I work with who are Black, we have shifted their message to Black Lives Matter messages.
Mhm.
The health coaches, we've shifted it to COVID and how to survive and thrive in COVID times. My transformational and mindset people, guess what? Same thing about how do we create a good mindset and live day to day with a good mental attitude.
Mhm.
My money experts, with all the, shall we say, decrease and problems we're having in the world of economy, how do we find more money, make more money? Hey, listen, I know people are doing better now because they've got all the PPL loans, the EIDL loans, the unemployment, the SBA loans. My God, I had a woman text me. This woman is like an artist, right? She
Mhm.
never had money for anything. She goes, hey, what should I do to, help promote myself now? Where do I invest my money properly? Because as I see it, that's the good news, because of all the stimulus and other things. Stimulate your business right now. Invest in publicity, marketing, connecting, getting yourself out there. Now is a great moment. And
Yeah.
then isn't that fun? And then just a really practical tip. Take a keyword of what you do and put it into iTunes and see what podcasts come up, because, hey, guess what? There are tons of people like Daniel doing great podcasts. See who comes up, get yourself out there on a guest. They always need guests, and you're the one.
That's
That's a great PR strategy.
It is. It is. It's amazing. I mean, I find that, oh my God, like I neglected LinkedIn for forever. I never really got into like a LinkedIn, for example. Like what you said, that's a great strategy. Like that definitely works. And like this LinkedIn I'll share a strategy. Like, I mean, it's just so old school. It's just crazy. I mean, for online connection, but like, I'm just finding people. I'm just like, hey, I love what you're doing. Let's connect. And then because I have the podcast, if I want them possibly as a guest, I say, hey, maybe you should be on my podcast. I don't hear from some of them, but because we're connecting through LinkedIn, I feel like LinkedIn is kind of magic this way. More people are saying yes than I probably would get on Facebook, is my feeling. So they're like, oh yeah, sure, let's look into that, let's talk or whatever. And so there's huge opportunities. So like for me too, like I'm used to flying off. Me and Jill usually meet at events and stuff. Like now I can't do it. Part of me misses it, but another part of me is like, wow, this is so much easier. I just can meet everybody right online now, and I got LinkedIn, I got these virtual meetings, I got, different opportunities. So I think everybody is willing to find more opportunities to be visible. There's just so many different ways. What are some of your favorite go-to, like, let's say somebody's like, I want to get into the major media. That's probably one of your biggest questions, right? Like, I want to get a big message. I want to get it out everywhere. You've got some great strategies you've been sharing around that. How can people use this time right now to get into the major media and get their message out there? Can you share about that briefly?
Absolutely. Well, first, I want you to be willing to shift and pivot your message, just like we've had to do for our businesses, right? So I tell you, I got a text from a Fox TV, a radio reporter out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They're looking for branding expert in the area of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and shifting branding, right? Now, I have to tell you, I've been on probably 7 of those radio interviews. I actually had one of my colleagues who we're well connected with. He knows he can count on me as an expert, right? He said, can you do this? Now, it's first thought in my mind, oh, I'm not a branding expert. I'm a publicity expert. And yet, like I tell everyone, you must always just say yes. So there I am in Louisville, in Houston, in Columbus, and Cincinnati, talking on 50,000 watt radio stations called terrestrial radio about branding. And so the super cool thing is they would always welcome me as the international publicity expert, Jill Lublin. You know, they'd always use my website at the end, and I would spend 7 to 10 minutes because an average major media interview is very short. Okay, so here's the good news. You're all smart. You can sound smart for 7 to 10 minutes on probably anything. When I was on Fox News for TV segments for Profit of Kindness, when that came out, an average segment was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I timed it. I looked at the red clock, right? That was average. I was on 7 of those in the first week. Now that's even faster to coalesce your message. So one thing I'm really big about, number one, reposition your message. Look at how it can fit for what's going on right now, and then plant your seeds for 3, 6, and 9 months ahead to be in like Entrepreneur Magazine, to keep a new message out there for what's new in the market right now. And right now, I mean 9 months ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, look at, for instance, what's going on in the calendar and see where your message can fit in months of the year. So I have a wonderful woman who's planning a conference. We have her out for International Women's Day for March 2021, right? Where can you fit in for holidays that are appropriate for the next year? And take a look at that. Specifically, look at nationaldaycalendar.com and see what they say about the months of the year and where you could fit, or create your own holiday.
Right.
All of those are very, very powerful publicity strategies.
Wow. Yeah. And that's just always scratching just the very bare surface of all the different things. I know, Jill, you always got more. And I like one of the things that kind of blew my mind when I asked you about publicity about something once. You said, oh yeah, well, first place, you probably just, put it in Crane's newspaper there. You're in the Chicago area. And I'm like, what, Crane's? I'm spiritual. Yeah, and to your colleges that you went to and stuff. And I'm like, what? That's not my target market. And then but you shared something with me about that that I don't remember exactly what you said, but you're like, you never know, you want to get the connections going everywhere. And so can you tell us more about that? Because I think other people listening might be like, wait a minute, Entrepreneur Magazine, I don't know if I'm all that, or, I don't know if that's a good fit. What do you tell your clients? Because I know that question comes up a lot. Like, well, I don't know if this major media is for me. That's not niched, or, not my niched place to market.
So a couple things. I like to create what I refer to as the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome.
Yes.
So who cares what I heard of you? It could be your local college announcements. Like, people forget to actually announce things, and that you can announce things in the memberships you're part of, in the alumni associations you became part of, in your memberships for where you pay for memberships, right? I want you announcing things. I want you to announce things actually every 60 days. So 6 times a year, your name will go out there, and that creates the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. If I may, I'll just share with you that when Get Noticed, Get Referrals came out, that's my second book, I posted it in Wayne State University alumni. That's where I went to college. And I get a contact from a gentleman in El Paso, Texas, who owns a shoe company. He says, hey, Jill, do you do PR consulting? I see in your bio, it says you're a PR consultant. I remember you from college. Congratulations. And boy, he booked a VIP session with me. That was a multi-$1,000 consulting day from a $21 book and a free announcement. So I can tell you, actually, client after client that this has happened with, who's built their business through more prospects, through that name recognition, through that I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. So I'm going to really invite you to look at and develop a list of the places where you're part of, the memberships, the private Facebook groups, the Chamber of Commerce, the places you graduated university, both grad and undergrad, if that's relevant, your churches and synagogues, wherever you might worship. Get creative. I have a soccer mom who's doing this, right? And start making announcements in the places that you're already a part of. They need to know you better. They want to know what you're up to. And then, of course, put the contact in for how to connect to you.
Yeah.
Completely free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so the more, yeah, and it often, I think what also stops people is like, oh, that's going to take so much time and all that sort of thing. What would you say to people? I don't have time to be everywhere.
I'm not asking you to be everywhere, is what I would say. I'm asking you to devote 1 to 2 hours a week. That's it.
Okay.
1 to 2 hours a week. This is called marketing. Public relations is an attraction strategy. It brings your clients and prospects to you. It makes you more money. It gets you familiar. It gets you trust in the marketplace. And in today's market, you must have trust. And it allows you to get an authentic message out that's resonant with your main message. And yeah, I have you dipping into multiple spaces and places, all of which are free. Hey, I'm big on guerrilla publicity, right? All of which are free to keep your name out there, to get your message consistent and persistent in the marketplace. That's what matters. And the more and more people see your name, they do this thing, like you'll walk into a Zoom room or you'll be in a networking event and they'll go, Daniel, yeah, I've heard your name somewhere. Right. They won't always remember where. Maybe they heard you on a podcast, saw it listed as an announcement. And what's important is that your name keeps getting in front of people. And that local strategy that Daniel was mentioning is in your local marketplace. I want you to use your local business journal and your local daily newspaper. Yes, they still exist. And there is a section called People in the News. That's another place I want you to make that announcement. And when you say takes too much time, well, let me tell you, a time-saving device, it's called Excel. Put together that, I call it announcement media list in Excel, press send, boom, you're out once every 60 days at least. Great way to do it.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful to keep it going, is to know, okay, here's all the places, I've gathered them, and then you can just rinse and repeat kind of thing, right? You keep it going. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. It's amazing. So Jill, this is really awesome. So many, PR is hugely neglected in the area of people that listen, like coaches and healers, and those are mostly the type of people, light leaders, people like that. Is hugely neglected. I would even say entrepreneurs in general, like most of them really neglect this. And yet it's so, the people that we flock to are huge in publicity. So anyway, so I think this is just so precious. And so I know you had a gift for the audience so they can get more of your awesomeness. So can you share what that gift is with everybody?
Absolutely. Well, I have a wonderful free publicity, interactive, live with me webinar. Please come. And how you register is you go to jilllublin.com/publicity. Be great to have you there. And if I can help you in any way or you want to talk further, please email us, info@jilllublin.com. Great to help you in any way that I can. And let me say, particularly as a light worker, as a leader, as a healer, as a business person, please don't forget you're also that. And I've worked, by the way, a lot in the holistic healing realm. I've worked with psychics, healers, translating messages so that it was more mainstream. What a difference it has made. And if you want your message to matter, you got to get it out there. And one thing I tell you is you're all messengers. And here's the good news. I'm a messenger of messengers. So I'd love to help you get your message out. And it's so key to bring people in so that you can keep making the difference in the world that you're committed to.
Awesome, Jill. And yeah, and Jill is definitely a light leader herself. She's all connected up. She's bringing the energy and everything. So she's totally into this whole thing. That's why she's on Spiritual Rockstar. So, because she is a spiritual rock star. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, and if people want to check me out again, as always, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. Get your meditate, make money meditation. It works. Period. If you work it, you just keep listening to it each day. People are making more money. They're telling me they're making more money, and it does a lot of great things for your energy too, because we open up those chakras and everything. So just check that out. And Jill, and definitely check out what Jill's got going on at jilllublin.com/publicity, correct?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. All right. Well, great. So we're just going to leave it at that for today. We're on a short time frame today. So I just want to thank you so much, Jill, for everything. And do you have any last words before we wrap up here?
You know, my last words is take a step. It's not difficult. Keep your light out there. Keep your message out there. That's how people are going to keep coming to you. Excited to support you on this journey. Most importantly, keep your name out so that people know you're available. And your message matters. Your message matters.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. So you keep on tuning in here. We'll keep on rocking it here on Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time. You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.